Hello and welcome back to Interpack TV, coming to you live from Düsseldorf, the global hotspot for the packaging and processing industry in these days. I'm Matthias Laux, and over the next minutes we'll be talking about the ideas, innovations and people shaping the future of packaging. Let's get started. And talking about great ideas, we have to talk about Schneider Electric, I think. Schneider Electric is showcasing at the Interpack 2026 in Düsseldorf the latest innovations for the next generation of flexible and intelligent packaging technologies. And I am delighted to welcome Mr. Neil Smith from Schneider Electric. He is CPG segment president. CPG, I think, stands for Consumer Packaging Goods.
That's correct.
Right. And I'm delighted to welcome Mr. Jochen Weiland. He's vice president Motion Control.
Yeah, thank you, Matthias.
Yeah, so thank you, Jochen. Thank you, Neil, for joining us here today. But before we dive into the solution, I think let's discuss some of the challenges we are seeing. Schneider's latest statistically representative industrial AI survey paints a stark picture for CPG manufacturers in Germany, right? Austria and Switzerland too. What is the strongest signal coming out of this data, Neil?
So thank you, Matthias. Perhaps start, so the survey covered around 1,400 executives around the world.
Okay. So huge number.
There's a big number. So a lot of insights that were provided. One of the strongest respondents was actually the DACH zone. And one of the perhaps surprising facts which we realized was the significant amount of manufacturing value that is being lost in the DACH zone. So the consensus around the DACH region was that the respondents see about 12% revenue or manufacturing loss as a result of, I suppose, against the potential. So what they're performing against their potential capacities.
Okay.
So this is typically downtime, waste, so scrappage, and of course these micro delays that we would talk about, typically around operational equipment effectiveness. What's interesting also is this looks to the future. So this is the situation today. So we would see a suboptimal system, but it's actually looking worse as we project to the future. Now, I think when you look at, say, the DACH region and particularly perhaps Germany, you see a lot of existing factories. So we see a large install base, operating facilities that
long traditional,
and a very traditional approach, I think, which is, I would say, particularly for Germany, is stood Germany in long standing, but maybe it's time to look at changes. So over the next 5 years, we see this projection to double. So we're seeing about a quarter of capacity not being delivered against. So roughly we say 26%, 25% loss of efficiency. Now also when we look at it and sort of dive into some of the details, we see that traditionally labor costs, particularly in a mature market or what Western market like we see in DACH, labor cost is a significant part of the products that our customers are producing. When we look at the data now, we also see that the inefficiencies, so the losses, the waste, downtime, and I would say operational problems are now costing as much as the labor. So this starts to become a significant component. Now, automation's been a part of the labor equation for a long time. But now we need to start looking at how do we address this, it's no longer an operational problem, it's perhaps a competitive crisis that we see. So we see it also that perhaps following cost of manufacturing, and I would say maybe some of the install base, we see it does vary a little bit between regions. We'd expect Switzerland to be facing the most headwind, high cost place to manufacture.
No surprise there.
No, not surprised. But interesting, Germany has very strong projections about AI adoption, so how AI can actually help use on operational use cases to help address some of these issues. So, but generally, I would say there's nothing particularly unique other than perhaps the magnitude of the problems we see for DACH. The spectrum of the problems are very consistent around the world.
I see. Okay. Thank you. Jochen, while AI-enabled industrial automation solutions emerge, the DACH CPG manufacturers survey shows strong ambition around industrial AI, right?
That's true, yeah.
Yet limited results today. So where's this disconnect?
Yeah, it's a very good question, in fact, Matthias. When we look to the AI today, and we are showcasing here on Interpack during this week, we are showcasing with our software solutions, and I name here EcoStruxure Machine Expert, how we are integrating AI into a software environment to allow our customers to generate engineering efficiency through AI code generation, for example, but also documentation and test cases and so on can be further evaluated and further increased with AI. And then if you combine that with digital twinning, for example, for simulation, emulation, and virtual commissioning, you are capable to reduce time to market for our machine builders by up to 50%. Now, you say, yeah, but where we see now the adoption in the market yet, and it's clear we have today a disconnect between the ambition on the one side and the current adoption on the other side. And this disconnect is coming from the fact that you need a little bit of a base to take the full leverage of what the AI can bring. And this leverage is coming from the technology used and for sure the readiness of the infrastructure. And here we have, as Neil already mentioned, also an installed base of equipment. And here we see that despite the fact that the companies are believing in the transformational approach of AI, here more than 77% are believing in that by 2030. We have today only 2% where AI is a base for decision making. Why? Because it's used as a spot somewhere. It is not rolled out end to end. It is used as pilots, as test cases. So a kind of
but not as a whole system, right?
Not as a whole system. So it's tested, it's piloted, but not seen as a whole system. And here, this is a barrier that needs to be overcome. Now, one can say, okay, but you know, we need to change our equipment and stuff like that, which is not necessarily the case. When we are looking to that, we can improve the return on invest by implementing AI from today, which is around 14% in the DACH zone, to over 45% by using newer automation technologies. And we as Schneider Electric, we have introduced what is called the EcoStruxure Automation Expert, which is an open software-defined automation system, which is allowing to orchestrate existing equipment, but also updating and migrating stepwise into a new world in a much faster way than before. We are speaking here days, weeks, versus probably months in our today's world. And by that, we can leverage already the potential that new systems are bringing stepwise, even into an installed base. And I think this is a step to go. And this will then leverage the potential of AI in the overall industry in the DACH zone.
So it's really worth, right, to make the step. So there are huge numbers.
There are huge numbers, for sure. And this is where we still need to move forward. I mean, AI is still considered as being at the beginning, but even where we are today now, and the changes will go very, very fast. Honestly, we see how fast the AI is evolving. We will see that the efficiency I can create by using AI and overcome also what Neil was saying, workforce issues and stuff like that, the potential, I think we are still not seeing it even today.
Okay. But just to get one thing clear, if the technology is ready, so what's actually blocking industrial AI at scale in the DACH region, from your point of view?
Yeah, so coming back to the survey that we ran, so kind of make this a little bit more objective rather than just a vendor. This is our customers saying that the problems are structural. So there's a human element to it, and you know, there's a human adoption aspect to it. The one thing that is there's consensus around is it's not a technology problem. So we have AI, we have real AI use cases. You talked about open software-defined automation as a concept, and I think what's important also here is not just about the AI. This is also about how do you integrate AI close the action loop, so you're getting the insight and then executing. So that can have human in the loop or human out of the loop. Okay. So the human element is actually quite important to it. But if I look at what is the -- blocker for the DAC zone, about half of the manufacturers talk about lack of contextualized data.
Okay.
So this is, if you have poor quality data, you have poor quality outcomes. I didn't use my Australian version of that because we're on live radio, TV.
We all understood.
But hopefully you get my message. This is the serious problem. So how do you actually then go about using the data you have? So, and actually extracting value out of it. The big issue in Germany is actually probably even greater. This is really reflective of perhaps what we would call brownfield. So these are existing facilities. There are siloed machines or a mixed fleet of technologies. So how do you have data, but how do you bring that into a single data platform? How do you provide contextualization around it? No one's going to thank you for having to say, solutions to replace the entire automation platform or rip out everything and replace it with new. So we have to find ways of adding value to what we have today.
Okay.
The second, so I sort of touched on this, so the second topic is really this legacy systems. Then we also have the human element around skills gaps. So that could be AI or data science. Again, make it more regional. Switzerland is perhaps the biggest area, surprisingly, that we see the biggest concern over the skills. Germany, not so much so much of an issue here. So to tackle these barriers, it's important to get the sequencing right. What you just described with Jochen was really this so-called pilot purgatory. So we're seeing board pressure from our customers coming down to plant managers who are being told to deploy AI. We want to see AI use cases. So everybody is focusing on the artificial intelligence, not the scalability. So how do you bring scalability? You have to put the infrastructure in place. So this is really about starting with your automation platforms and also your information management system. So how do you bring those two worlds together? Then you can start to look at AI use cases, and then you can start to deploy at scale.
I see. Okay. So Jochen, is it also your point of view? So what should manufacturers do now?
Yeah, I mean, Matthias, as said by Neil, and also mentioned already by you, we are talking on a system approach at the end of the day, okay? And this is a mindset shift that we need to implement, and that needs to come not only from the machine builders. I mean, they are drivers for sure for this, but also the end users, the users of all the machines and the technology, they need to drive in this direction as well from a mind shift situation to drive the next generation of industrial processes. And this is exactly where we need to start from the infrastructure, as mentioned by Neil. We need to have contextual data, we need to have open automation solutions, which is allowing to exchange real-time data through across a system that is implemented in a factory. Now you would say, okay, probably is a good idea, but the investment will be very high. I will have to exchange all my equipment that I have. And no, this is not the case, in fact. When you are using two things, first of all, with the open automation systems that we are providing as Schneider Electric, you can orchestrate existing equipment with new equipment, but on the same technology base. So you have a foundation built which can be used and which is a basis which is allowing AI to work with the data that the system is generating. Today, AI is used on a very high level, typically in fragmented systems, getting information from different places, but not in the same format, not in the same structure. And this makes it very complicated at the end to drive the right decisions towards optimization of manufacturing and reducing the losses. I mean, we have heard the losses can go up over 30% by 2030 if we are not acting now. And this is where we are coming with our technology into play, together with the machine builders, together with the end users. We have the capability to gain efficiency in even existing installations.
I see.
And that's absolutely important. So it's an end-to-end process, in fact.
So let me say the key message is, in fact, that the solutions are ready, right?
The solutions are there. Okay. The solution will further improve. But we need to start using them at a larger scale into the manufacturing environment to leverage really the full potential of what can come out.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's going to come out of the lab. It's going to go onto the shop floor.
Yeah.
The technology exists. It's starting with the foundations. Put the foundations in place. The AI is, I wouldn't say the easy bit, but it's the easier part of this problem to solve.
Yeah, and then Neil, we have shown as the World Economic Forum, together with other companies, a Lighthouse OS system, also to harmonize here across different companies. Yeah. And in Schneider Electric, we are using today 9 of these Lighthouse factories already to test, to experience, but also to bring back the experience that we do into the system and supply it to the others, so that we are overall increasing and accelerating the introduction and improvement of the efficiency in manufacturing.
Yeah, so I'm sorry if I could just jump. I'm smiling because I think this is one of the things that makes Schneider unique. We own our own factories, we own our own supply chain. So when we talk to our customers, even in consumer packaged goods, we're more of a discrete manufacturer, but our experience is directly relatable. So one of the most satisfying and most enjoyable experiences I have is taking our customers to show how we deploy technology. So to have things like the World Economic Forum validation of our factories is a nice cherry on the cake. And so, we're a French organization, so this is us drinking our own champagne. So, we are very proud of what we've managed to achieve with our own facilities and very happy to share.
And of course, this could be a tipping point for the change of the mindset, right? So when you see let's say the technical solution in action, this could become, for the mindset, very important.
Yeah, and our own experience can also help our customers to work on this mindset change, because at the end of the day, I mean, we are also having started from a certain point, and we needed to take our people, our staff, our plant managers with us on this journey. And it's very important to also reduce these entry barriers, because at the end of the day, what we are doing with artificial intelligence, for example, is not contradictory to helping our people to grow and to move forward.
Of course, right. But you're kind of ambassador here, right, at the Interpack 2006 for the AI topic, or how do you feel?
Yes, it's not just AI. I mean, we are here for the whole topic around the machine automation. AI is a cornerstone. I mean, you have motion technologies, we have robotics, we have all mechatronics and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the software is a key cornerstone, which AI is a key driver at the moment for gaining efficiency and leveraging the potential that is still there and reducing the losses in manufacturing that are existing today. And this is where we are clearly ambassadors for us, Schneider Electric, but also for our industry as a whole.
As ambassadors, you did a great job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jochen. Thank you very much, Neil, for joining us today. And it's a wrap from Schneider Electric. It's a wrap
from Interpack
here. Thank you to my guests and our guests and partners for sharing their experience and expertise, of course. And from all of us here, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you very much.